Welcome to Ask and Learn.
Hello students, let us do this question. It is given that 20% had at least one tire with an unsafe tread. Sample of size n is equal to 18 is taken and only one bike is found having unsafe tire tread. P is the proportion of bikes who had unsafe tire. Hypothesis to be tested here is H0. P is greater than or equal to 0.2 versus alternative hypothesis P is less than 0.2. The Z-test statistic for testing proportion of population is given as Z is equal to P hat minus P divided by P into 1 minus P upon N under square root, where P is the population proportion value under null hypothesis. Here P is 0.2, N is the sample size which is 18. P hat is sample proportion which is x upon N. So 1 divided by 18 which gives sample proportion value as 0.0556. With these values we get Z-test statistic value as minus 1.5321. Critical value for the test is Z critical value such that as the alternative hypothesis is less than type, it is the Z critical value such that probability below Z critical is 0.05 as we have alpha equal to 0.05. The corresponding Z critical value is minus 1.645. Decision criteria based on the Z critical value is if we have calculated Z value less than Z critical value, then we reject the null hypothesis H0. So we reject H0. Here we can see that calculated Z is minus 1.5321 and Z critical is minus 1.645. So calculated Z value here is greater than Z critical. So we fail to reject null hypothesis H0. So at alpha equal to 0.05 level of significance, we fail to reject the null hypothesis H0 and conclude that proportion of bikes who had unsafe tire is not less than 0.2. Next part, 2D. We are asked to find or give such a level of significance alpha so that we would come to opposite our conclusion for the given test. So for alpha equal to 0.05, we are here failing to reject the null hypothesis. Now in order to reject the null hypothesis, so we need alpha such that we should reject the null hypothesis H0. For that, to reject the null hypothesis, we need calculated Z less than Z critical value. It means we need to increase the level of significance alpha. So if we take alpha equal to 0.1, then we get Z critical value as minus 1.282. And this Z critical value, at this Z critical value, we get that our calculated Z critical value is less than minus 1.282. So we will here reject the null hypothesis. So alpha equal to 0.1 is such a level of significance value for which we would come to opposite conclusion of our test. So for this level of significance, we would come to opposite the conclusion of our test. Hope you find this helpful.